Hey everyone, and welcome! I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today for this explainer, because we're doing a deep dive investigation into a supplement that has literally flooded the internet recently. We're talking about ProDentim. Is it an actual scientific breakthrough, or just a total scam? Well, my goal today is to be your honest broker. We're going to look strictly at the data, the clinical studies, and real user reports to figure out exactly what's going on with this oral health product. So, let's dive right in.
It's the big question on everyone's mind, right? I mean, before you go out and drop 50 to 70 bucks on a bottle of chewable tablets, you want to know, does ProDentim actually work? Or is it just another passing internet fad? In this explainer, we are going to ruthlessly separate the clinical science from the marketing fiction so you can make a truly informed decision.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, the oral microbiome concept. Second, inside the ingredient label. Third, science versus marketing claims. Fourth, pros, cons, and pricing. Fifth, a very important counterfeit scam warning. And finally, number 6, the final verdict.
All right, Section 1, the oral microbiome concept, a delicate ecosystem.
Now, to really understand ProDentim, we have to lay down the foundation of why our traditional approach to dental care might actually need a serious rethink. You've probably heard tons about your gut microbiome, right? But your mouth has its own, completely separate ecosystem. The oral microbiome is this incredibly delicate, complex community of both beneficial and harmful bacteria living right there on your teeth, your gums, and your tongue. And the science shows that maintaining a healthy balance here is absolutely critical for preventing cavities, bad breath, and gum inflammation.
And honestly, this brings us to the core problem with traditional dental care. Standard mouthwashes often use these harsh chemicals that just totally nuke your mouth. They don't discriminate, so they end up killing off all the good bacteria right along with the bad. And that leaves your mouth completely vulnerable to a rapid takeover by harmful pathogens. Now, ProDentim's approach aims to totally flip that script. Instead of just killing bacteria, the goal is to reseed your mouth with beneficial strains that actively crowd out the bad guys.
Section 2. Inside the ingredient label. What's actually in the tablet?
Okay, now that we understand the core concept, let's look at the hard facts. Stripping away all the marketing speak, the official ProDentim supplement facts label gives us the visual proof of the formula. This shows us exactly what we're actually putting into our bodies.
The big, glowing number you need to know here is 3.5 billion. That's the amount of live, colony-forming units, or CFUs, packed into every single tablet. That is a seriously potent dose of probiotics. However, and I have to point out a slight issue here, it is listed as a proprietary blend. What does that mean? Well, while we know the total CFU count is 3.5 billion, the manufacturer doesn't actually disclose the exact ratios of each individual strain inside that blend. It's a bit of a lack of transparency that honestly is pretty common in the supplement industry, but you should absolutely be aware of it.
Let's break that blend down a bit further. We have two major probiotic stars happening here. Lactobacillus reuteri, which published clinical studies show actually reduces oral inflammation, and Lactobacillus Paracasei, which helps inhibit cavity-causing bacteria. So the crucial point is how the rest of the ingredients actually support those live strains. They've included inulin, which is a prebiotic fiber that basically acts like an all-you-can-eat buffet for the good guys so they can easily establish colonies. Then you've got malic acid to stimulate saliva and help maintain tooth whiteness, plus tricalcium phosphate to aid in enamel remineralization. It's a very thoughtfully constructed ecosystem packed right into a tablet.
And you know, this brilliantly illustrates one of the absolute smartest design choices of the whole product, the format. Think about it. If you swallow a normal probiotic pill, it goes straight down to your gut. It completely skips your mouth, which pretty much defeats the entire purpose of oral care. But by making ProDentim a chewable tablet that dissolves slowly, the probiotics get to mix naturally with your saliva. This allows them to directly colonize your teeth, your gums, and your mucous membranes. The science behind that delivery method is genuinely sound.
Section 3, science versus marketing claims, fact versus fiction.
Time to put on our critical thinking caps and ruthlessly separate the truth from the sales fluff. On one side, we have the real science. The specific strains used in ProDentim have genuine, published research showing they reduce gum inflammation and help balance the oral microbiome. That part, completely true. But on the other side, we've got some heavy-lifting marketing nonsense. Claims that this little candy is somehow going to clear your sinuses or support your respiratory tract are an incredible stretch with basically no strong evidence. Also, just to clear the air, despite what some sneaky search results might imply, the American Dental Association has absolutely not endorsed ProDentim.
Section 4. Pros, cons, and pricing. The honest trade-offs.
With the myths busted, let's move into our critical consumer evaluation. Let's look at the honest trade-offs. On the pro side, the oral microbiome science is completely legitimate, the chewable format ensures direct delivery, and they offer a really strong 60-day money-back guarantee. But on the con side, we are looking at a pretty high price point of $49 to $69 per bottle. We also talked about the annoyance of that proprietary blend, and most importantly, you guys, this is not a magic bullet. If you're expecting instant, overnight results, you will be disappointed. It takes a minimum of 4 to 8 weeks of daily use to actually see a shift in your bacterial microbiome.
And when we stack ProDentim up against its competitors, like Hyperbiotic's ProDental or now Oral Probiotic, you'll see they offer similar oral probiotic strains for literally half or even a third of the price. ProDentim does have a slightly higher CFU count at 3.5 billion, but its primary advantage over these cheaper options is really that extended 60-day refund window. That just gives you more time to see if the bacterial shift is actually working for your specific gums without risking your money.
Section 5. The Counterfeit Scam Warning. Protect your health.
Please listen to me very closely here, because I really need to protect both your health and your wallet. According to investigative reports covering consumer complaints, a staggering 47% of the people complaining that ProDentim gave them side effects or just completely failed to work were unknowingly buying fake bottles on third-party sites like Amazon, eBay, or Walmart.com. Let that sink in. Almost half of all negative experiences stem from completely fake products.
These counterfeiters are mimicking the branding to a T. So what are the red flags you need to watch for? Well, genuine ProDentim smells minty and tastes slightly sweet. If your bottle has a strange chemical smell or a bitter, chalky taste, congratulations, you bought a fake. Counterfeiters just fill these pills with cheap maltodextrin and artificial colors, completely skipping the temperature-controlled probiotic strains entirely. The manufacturer has made it explicitly clear. They do not authorize any third-party sellers. Zero.
Just listen to this actual user quote we pulled during our research. I bought ProDentim from a seller on Amazon at a discount. The tablets tasted like chalk and gave me a headache. I reordered from the official site and the difference was night and day. Guys, do not try to save $10 on an unauthorized site. You will literally be buying chalk, or worse, contaminated ingredients. Only buy through the official verified website.
Section 6. The final verdict. Who is it really for?
So we've looked at the science, the marketing, the prices, and the scams. Who is authentic ProDentim actually for? Looking at the complete picture, this is a highly targeted supplement. If you have severe dental disease, you need a dentist, for sure, not a candy. But if you're an adult who is already brushing, already flossing, and practicing good dental hygiene, yet you're still struggling with bleeding gums, persistent bad breath, or gum sensitivity, ProDentim actually offers a scientifically sound, natural approach to fixing your mouth's ecosystem.
Here is the absolute bottom line for you today. ProDentim is not a scam, assuming you buy the real thing. But the marketing definitely overpromises on wild things like sinus clearing. The core probiotic science of using strains like L. reuteri to fight gum inflammation is incredibly legitimate and honestly fascinating. Now, it will never replace brushing or flossing, but it works as a really powerful adjunct to those habits. And again, to ensure safety, only buy from the official sites.
And that brings our explainer to a close. But before you go, I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. As we discover more and more about the microbiomes living within our own bodies, is bacterial reseeding, literally adding live bacteria to our mouths, the true future of dentistry? Or is this just a passing wellness trend? Think about how that might totally change your morning routine. Thank you so much for joining me today. Stay curious and keep learning.